It's really important for an individual to have an Advanced Health Directive for mental health, because it ensures that when they go and they seek care for their mental health condition, that their wishes are carried out. The Advanced Health Directive is really a process, and what it allows the patient to do is to actually have the opportunity to discuss their wishes with their family members, their loved ones, with the people they may designate as their decision makers or attorneys.
So it really starts a collaborative approach to your care, early or at a time when you're well, and at a time when, if you become unwell, your views can be taken into consideration.
For me, the benefits of the Advanced Healthcare Directive for mental health is it gives me peace of mind. When I'm not well enough to make decisions about my mental health, then I have set in place some thoughts that can be followed so that my doctors and my family are aware of what my wishes are.
It gives me, as a carer, an opportunity to look at what's been written and to put it into practice.
One of the biggest predictors of what your presentation is going to be like will be past presentations. So if, for example, every time you've become unwell, you've required hospitalisation and maybe you've required ECT, the possibility of that arising next time and needing to be taken into account.
I'll discuss it with both my GP, but I'll also discuss it with my psychiatrist. They would be able to tell me things that I might include in my Advanced Healthcare Directive and things that I might exclude in it.
The more specific you can get, the better. So, what specific treatments have worked? What specific psychological interventions have been helpful? Group therapies, individual therapies? What specific medications have worked? What specific medications have you had very bad side effects to that you really don't want to repeat? What's been effective, and even at what doses, if you know that type of detail?
Things like whether I would prefer to stay in the home rather than go to a hospital, any medication that I'd prefer not to take, because there are some medications I've had adverse reactions to, and also things like electroconvulsive shock treatment. I really don't want that in my future.
Another important thing to consider in putting together your Advanced Health Directive for mental health is actually getting a comprehensive list of all the doctors, all the psychologists, all the health professionals that you are working with. And that may include, if you have diabetes, for example, your endocrinologist or diabetologist.
I would want to make sure that my medications for other ailments that I have are continued, and I have physiotherapy 3 days a week, and if possible I would really like to continue with that.
It's really important that you actually have the details of those specific professionals and their contact numbers so that the treatment team can feel free to contact them at any time.
It is necessary to show that I have the capacity to complete it at this time, and that needs to be documented and witnessed by a doctor, so I get my GP to do that.
To have capacity, you have to understand the decision you're making. You need to understand the effect of that decision. You need to clearly be able to articulate that decision to people, and it's got to be evident to the people in the room that you are making this freely and voluntarily.
You really need to not only have your signature on it, but to make sure that your doctor signs off on it and that it's witnessed and that it's all properly completed so that it becomes a legally valid document.
The other important thing is to make sure that your Advanced Health Directive is kept up to date, and we would recommend that that be updated at least every 2 years. The new Mental Health Act makes it very clear that if you have an Advanced Health Directive in place, it is to be followed unless your illness is severe enough to warrant a treatment authority.
But they would do so only after clearly reading it, and anything that they did that was not specified by the patient as meeting their wishes and expectations, they have to actually justify. So they have to give the reasons. That would only happen in a severe deterioration where perhaps there was a risk to oneself or to others.
So the advantages of having the attorney, which is usually a close friend or a family member involved, is that the Advance Health Directive is really just a piece of paper. You can sometimes convey your views on how you'd like to be treated, but there's nothing quite like having, somebody there as your advocate to ensure and explain what you may have meant by, whatever you've put in your Advanced Health Directive.
And as a doctor, it's really helpful to have identified individuals who can speak on the patient's behalf. You can limit what conditions they may be able to speak on. You can limit exactly what they can say. You can remove them at any time from the document. But it's important to have somebody on there, because if for any reason you're unable to reflect the wishes that you have expressed on your Advanced Health Directive, then that gives the option for the doctor to discuss some of the perhaps more controversial or grey areas, just to make sure that your wishes are being followed.
It's important to have an attorney so that everybody's in the loop about my future, should my health fail to a point that I can't make those decisions for myself.
What I encourage people to do, particularly when there's carers or family members integrally involved in their care, is to actually bring them into the discussion so that they can be involved. I often will ask them to bring them into clinic so that I can discuss the Advanced Health Directive with the patient and with the carer or the family member at the same time.
With my loved one, when they become unwell, I can refer to it and see exactly what my loved one wants doing, and I can inform the correct people, and I can set things in place that he's put down.
Personalised treatment is important. So if you've got in your Advanced Health Directive, the way you would like to be treated, it's a way of ensuring more personal treatment and having treatment that you have considered in the past you wished for.